Welcome back. All right, Karen, you were telling a great story about a lady at a party in San Francisco, grabbed your arm, dragged you to her husband. They were fighting over probate, I guess, with what? His family. His in-laws, yeah, or her in-laws.
It was his mom and dad, actually. Well, the story has kind of a good and a bad continuation to it. I was able to help them create the estate plan that would prevent probate going forward.
Okay, good.
I was also able to put some life insurance policies in place for both of them. And that was before we had created the Power of Three model, but still kind of driving in that direction to make sure that they had all their bases covered.
And just as a reminder to our viewers, the Power of Three is our solution to retirement success that utilizes growth, protection and liquidity, and then guaranteed income to cover your expenses. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for that reminder. So anyway, a few years later, unfortunately, she died.
Oh, wow.
She died. But I have to tell you, that's the bad, right? Sad story. But the good from it was that we were able to take her death benefit, which was $1 million, and create life insurance policies for both of their daughters.
Oh, wonderful.
So now I have Eric, and then I have his daughters. He's still alive and doing great, and his policy is completely funded, and he has access to the cash and all of that. But now the girls have policies. The money for the $1 million was left in a trust, and the premium comes out each year to fund these policies. The girls over the last couple of years have needed some money for various things, and so they've had access to that cash value to use, one to move, one for a career change, another time for a down payment on a home. So it's been, you know, and every time they call me and say, can I take the money for this? I say, this is exactly what your mom would want
That's so sweet.
me to do and help you with.
Well, and that's exactly why a legacy plan is so important, right?
Yeah.
They realized the importance of it because of a missed opportunity with his parents.
Right.
And they didn't want to put their daughters through that same experience. So they took the initiative and put the steps in place that they had the trust to be able to make those decisions for their daughters to help them fund those life insurance policies and to continue to pay for their education and some of the little steps along the way that sometimes feel like, oh, well, with my job, I'm just always going to be able to keep paying for that or taking care of those expenses. But they went just a step further to make sure that should something unexpectedly happen to either of them, that their dreams and their wishes for their daughters would still be able to be executed.
And the word legacy, if you think about it, what's the definition? What you are remembered by. So whenever one of those sweet girls calls you, you can happily be able to help them, and they're feeling their mother's love. I mean, that may sound corny, but this is powerful stuff.
It is. And, you know, speaking of legacy, and I know that we've gotten some responses from our viewers, so thank you for writing in and letting us know what you like. And we keep hearing that they like stories.
Yes.
So as it relates to legacy, I want to share another story about another client who originally came to us as interest rates were dropping in the marketplace.
Okay.
So certificate of deposits, which used to get a better rate of return, 7, 8, 9%, suddenly we're getting 3 and 4 and 5, or 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and nothing. Okay. And so we introduced something called a MYGA, and our industry loves acronyms. And a MYGA is a multi-year guaranteed annuity, multi-year guaranteed annuity. And I think we have a screenshot. Here it is right here. So today, when we're looking at the interest rates as low as they are, you can see on this chart that if you tied your money up for 3 years, which is exactly what a 3-year CD would do, you can actually get 4.2%. And if you went a little longer, a little higher. To be honest with you, with rates rising right now, I probably wouldn't go out 7 years, but I'd be all over that 2 or that 3-year rate at 3.55 or 4.20. Well, this individual, we were able to do that for him. We put some of the money into the guaranteed. This was accumulation. He didn't need the income. Few years went by and he needed the income. And so then we were able to purchase some guaranteed income annuities, which again, guaranteed for as long as he lived that he would get that income. What happened a few years later as he was getting the income, Samantha?
He didn't need it anymore. Because he turned on that income stream from the guaranteed income, his other assets were allowed to grow. He didn't need to draw from them.
Because he wasn't taking out of it, so they were allowed to compound interest.
So as those other assets grew, then he had the ability to access that for additional income and expenses that he had. So now all of a sudden he found himself in a position where he had more money than he really had expenses or needs or wants. I mean, that's the ideal retirement, right? Like,
sign me up.
That's the goal.
Yes, and so he came to us and said, what can I do with this extra money?
Yeah.
Well, he has 4 beautiful granddaughters. They were in 4 different states, and so we really had to put our thinking caps on. But I suggested that we buy life insurance for each of these 4 girls. Use the excess income he had on a monthly basis to pay the premium. We set it up so that it was a finite period of time, so in 10 years, those policies would be paid up.
Now, I want to note that the insurance was on the girls.
Yes.
So it was individually owned by them or insured by them, but he owned it so that he could make the premium payments.
Gotcha.
Right, so he owned it, they were insured. He did pass away, so now they own it. But think about this. Talk about a legacy. Those policies that were funded for 10 years, the girls were all in their 20s.
Okay.
So now at 60 years old, every one of those policies were projected to pay out over $50,000 a year, tax-free.
Tax-free.
Now, again, the time value of money, $50,000 when they're 60 years old, isn't going to be the $50,000 today. But it's going to be a bigger check than nothing.
That's amazing. So these girls already have income, and they haven't even gotten close to retirement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And talk about thinking, thanks, Grandpa.
Thank you.
I mean, one of the reasons that we love life insurance is because it's a legacy multiplier.
Okay.
Right? For the premium that's put in, the death benefit will always be greater than that. So just the fact that you can put in $1 and the death benefit far exceeds whatever that premium is incredible to be able to multiply the impact. But in their case, when we look at how we can take a distribution from the cash value life insurance and generate tax-free income over their retirement years, it will far exceed even what the death benefit was of Grandpa's dollars.
And why is that tax-free? They just leave insurance alone?
Well, so far there's a
so far so good.
Exactly.
Don't know how long that's going to last.
Actually, and that's a great question though, and we have a whole episode on life insurance. But 7702, remember that number?
I'm writing it
Do you
down.
know why they call the 401k a 401k?
I don't.
A little fun fact for everybody. It is called 401k because it's in the tax code, section 401K.
Section K.
It wasn't an ingenious name. It's in the tax
It
code.
did seem very random and strange.
401k. That's actually
Like
there.
Roth. Was it a guy named Roth?
It was.
Senator Roth?
It was Senator Roth.
kidding.
No, Senator Roth created the Roth. But life insurance is actually much deeper in the tax code, and it's 7702. In fact, some of you may have heard of a 7702 plan. It's life insurance.
Okay.
So yes, it's actually a plan. And here's the other great thing about life insurance. It is a contract. So when you purchase life insurance, if Congress decides someday to take life insurance and make it not tax-free anymore, any policies that are already in place will be grandfathered through because contractually they can't change it.
All right, what time do we finish this show? I need to buy a few policies from y'all. Let's
and
get
an
going.
example of that is with annuities. In 1983, I believe it was, TEFRA, it used to be when you put money into an annuity, it was first in, first out method of accounting. So you could put $100,000 into an annuity and take $10,000 a year for 10 years tax-free.
Okay.
Well, after TEFRA, they changed the ruling, and it was last in, first out. So if you put $100,000 in and it earns $5,000 and you want to take out 10, the first 5 is taxable, the next 5 is your basis. So it flipped. Any contract that was written prior to TEFRA
is
grandfathered through.
And what is TEFRA, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know the exact.
It's just stands for tax exemption.
I'm going to look that up during the break.
Okay, next week we will have what TEFRA is for you. All right, let's take a quick break, actually. 855-348-3073. Let them know what they can expect when they call. No pressure at all.
No cost, no obligation. We just want the opportunity to sit down with you and review your legacy plan. Make sure that the goals and desires that you have for your dollars are going to be able to be executed once you're gone. We'll do an entire retirement roadmap for you so that you understand the taxes, the risk involved. We want to make sure that you're educated.
Absolutely. All right, stay with us more with Karen Stawicki and Samantha Irish right after this.